20th of June. I'm just looking, for those who are interested, at the follow-up to some of the grafting I've been doing, because I know a lot of people are interested in this. This is going to be quite a long video. It may not be of a lot of interest to the casual viewer, because it's really very much a tutorial for following up on grafting, which I know that some of you have been doing. And there's a couple of saddle grafts which have taken successfully. I'm just releasing the ties. Just want to show you an example of one where it was too tight and I should have released the tie earlier. You see that dug in quite deep there because of that weak point there where it strangled. My fault, I should have done that earlier. Most of them are better than that, like this for example. I should have released the tie earlier. I've cut off about 60% of this, just a bit waving around in the wind because I'm just afraid of it snapping there. It may still do. Mistake. Most of them are better than that. Anyway, I'll just show you. I'm just tidying these up and they're looking great. Right, point number one, there's a rind graft. Guess what? It's dead. Didn't make it. It happens. Here we are, there's another one. This is a double cleft graft, you can see. And this one is dead. I'm just going to snick that out. This is a bit of follow-up care here. This one's alive. Good. I'm going to leave that now. It's a judgment call each time. Here we are. Here is another. This is a cleft graft. This is a rind graft. That's coming. All this variety. I'm just tidying this up now. Whether to use a secateurs or a knife. I think a knife is actually probably better for these soft young growths because you can get a really neat, clean cut. And you do want to remove the unwanted wood, the undesirable wood. Get the angle right there. Just like to have a small, sharp, I'll just give that neat edge, just clean the edges off. Don't normally have to do that with a silky fox saw, but that one is well worn out. Probably I should actually abandon that particular one because it's worn. It's only cutting as well as a normal saw now. Alright, so you see what I've done there? I'm just tidying this up, making it a bit neater. Let's look at a few others. Here is a saddle graft. As I've mentioned before, I do a lot of different grafts, and the main key thing is the diameter of the wood. As a saddle, when you've got wood of the same diameter, the saddle graft's a good one to do. There's one saddle and there's another. If you look in here, just where I'm pointing with the knife, can you see that's cutting in a little bit? That's a bit tight there, isn't it? So what I'm going to do now, I'm now going to release the tie. I'm doing this very carefully. I don't want to cut into the wood unduly, but if you do a little bit, it doesn't matter that much, honestly. You see that's bursting apart. Can you film that from above, where the knife's pointing? You see, it's just bursting apart. That really needs to be done. Now look at that. You can see there's a bit of a bulb there. One of the questions I get asked is, when should I release the ties? Well, if you're using parafilm, you don't need to worry because they'll release themselves. But you can see here the answer is I probably should have released that a little while ago because that's a bit tight there now, isn't it? Alright, and I'm just going to take this one off again, be a little bit careful, trying to avoid cutting into the wood any more than I have to. Fiddly work. This is my probably favourite knife for this sort of job, the Opinel number 6. I just find the blade to be exactly right for this sort of job. Very inexpensive knife as well. You can pay ever such a lot of money for a knife, but you can buy an Opinel very inexpensively. This particular one's got an olive wood handle. I bought it on our recent visit to France. Alright, if you're looking closer, you can see we've got nice, good, strong callus. I'm going to film that from a different angle. You'll come down here and you can see, you can pull back a bit. You can see the V, just steady my hand here, you can see the V, long V of the saddle graft, and that's taken very nicely. That looks good, doesn't it? Again, just a little bit of tidying up. If you want to focus down here, this is a bit unnecessary. What we've got here, just snick that off. And we don't want this, do we? So you see what I'm doing?
So it was a good thing to leave those extra branches initially because they were sap drawers to pull sap into that branch.
Nurse branches, but now they're not necessary. And you see what I'm doing here? Just follow me around, Julia. I think that a small removing these young shoots, I think a small sharp knife is actually a better tool than the secateurs. What have we got here? Yeah, if you want to come and film this from above, we've got two grafts, and they're taken. There's no real pressure, and I'm going to leave that for now. Here, another we have two rind grafts, both have taken. What's under here? Well, that we don't want, that's the mother tree, take that off. Here we have rind graft that's taken, rind graft that's taken. There's two rind grafts that's taken. That's pretty good, 100% success. What's going on down here? I didn't graft anything down here. So I've got 3 strong grafts coming up. Now what I can do is decide to leave one of these and graft onto it. So I think I'm going to do that. I'll take that one out, and I'll take that one out, and I'll leave that one there, and I may make a decision next year to graft onto that to balance the tree. But here again, we don't, and I think I'll do the same here as well. You see, here's a growth coming away, and I may decide to graft onto this to balance the tree more. But again, here you can see this is all rind grafts here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 7 rind grafts have taken successfully, so I'm very pleased with that. Again, Miller's seedling, unsuccessful tree for us. May Queen, fantastic late keeping heritage apple that our customers are really very keen on. So we're moving an unproductive, by grafting, by top working, we're moving an unproductive tree which has got solid strong roots and branches, moving it over to production of a more valued tree. We'll move over this way, I'll show you another one. One again, a nice triple, nice shape here. I cut it back to this shape. Here you see is a big branch I sawed off just the other day. That one I left as a nurse branch. I sawed that off there. We don't need that, so I've balanced the tree by leaving that nurse branch out. Rind graft, they've all taken. What I did here, anyway, I put in a little graft in the side of the tree here, a little sort of stab graft into the side of the tree. It's not taken. It's not a big deal. It's a bit of an open wound there, but it's already healing. It's already healing. We'll leave that. That'll be just fine. This tree I decided to graft next year. I cut this back to an appropriate framework. I'm leaving these shoots, making some shoots here, and I'll maybe graft onto them next year. But this one we decided to leave. Now up here, this is a different variety. Again, these 4 trees were, I think, 2 of them were Miller's seedling, 2 were Sunset. Good apples, we have more than we need. So these again have been grafted over to a variety called Baker's Delicious. I think there was a graft here which was not taken, and here, these are all rind grafts, and oh look, I've got a 100% success rate. I'm pleased about that. So all 4 of these have taken. What have we got here? I mean, down here we've got a little branch coming out underneath, which is not really at a very advantageous angle, so taking great care. Sharper your knife, the more safely you can do this. I'm just taking that little branch out because it's really unattractive. And now is the time of year you want to be doing this because great growth is being made. Is it good to take these off just yet? I'm not absolutely sure. If anyone's got any experiences or knowledge, then please post it. I'm just taking that off and left the wax there.
I think it's alright with the little short grafts you've got, but I remember one year we grafted long pieces in, and after we'd taken out the tapes a lot of them dropped out. Yeah, you can take them out too early, but with these are rind grafts, and I don't think there's an issue here, that they're covered with a seal. Obviously they're all alive and well. Let's have a look at the next one. This video is getting a bit long, but this is actually a tutorial. If you're still watching by now, then I guess you actually are interested in grafting. Unnecessary growths here. Don't want that. And see what a perfect little job this knife does. Anyway, here we are, imperfect outcome. It's a double rind graft here. That one's taken, this one hasn't. It's okay, you don't get 100% success, but we've got 3, so that should give the tree a nice shape. This little knot here wants to come off. It's important to do this work now. You don't want to do it too early, and when you're cutting these
extra, these spare branches out, do bear in mind, because by now you'll know whether or not all of your grafts have taken, and where grafts haven't taken, you may want to selectively leave some of these growths. You may selectively want to leave some so that you can graft onto them. This here, for example, I'm going to leave just one. I'm going to leave this growth here. I'm going to let that grow away, because it may well be expedient to do a saddle graft onto this next autumn. Here's another saddle. I'm just going to remove this. I think these do tend to swell up more than the cleft graft, and there's more tension here, so I think I'm more liable to actually release the cuts on these, release the ties. So if you use this parafilm, then I've got limited experience with it. I tend to stick to what I know. I'm a bit conservative like that. When I've used a parafilm, I've had good results with it, but this is the sort of tape I use. And again, here you can see that's the result of the saddle graft. Very nice, clean healing there. That looks good to me. And the same on the other side. Yeah, that's as good as it gets. And if you look here, the growth, good, strong growth. Somebody asked, you know, do birds come and sit on these and snap them off? Yes, I'm sorry, that is something else that happens. We're always struggling, aren't we? But you know, if a crow comes along and sits on this, then it'll snap, and you know, that's just too bad. These things happen. Here's another over here. Here again, we have another rind graft. Which I use a combination of rind grafts, cleft grafts and saddle grafts, and it mainly depends on the diameter of the recipient stock wood that I am using. I've explained all about these grafts in other videos. Yeah, that looks quite nice, doesn't it? That's taken all right. Here we've got another one, double rind, taken well. Here's another, and this needs to come out, this or this here. Do be careful not to cut the wrong stuff out. It's so easily done. I can't praise these knives too highly. I'm sure there might be a better knife than the Opinel, but you know, I mean, for goodness sake, these are about £6 to buy. I only wish that they were made in England, but they're not. They're made in France. This one has failed, you see?
I'm not sure. I think there's a bud here that might still be alive.
I don't think so. I just cut it open though. Yeah, actually it's green, you know, but no, I mean, come on, look, it just hasn't really made it. It's interesting, it's sort of half alive, it's sort of half taken, you see what I mean? It nearly made it, but not quite. But that sort of thing is never going to do any good. What shall I do? I know what I think I'll do. I'll take this out. See all that saw's on the blunt side now. And here is the tree I posted about earlier. Same principle. This is one I did earlier. Same principle. This is a Tremlitz bitter. It's a cider apple tree. It's a good cider apple tree, but I had more than I wanted of it. I wanted more varieties, so somebody kindly sent me some Somerset red streak scion wood. And if you look in here, I'll show you, this is what those trees should look like in a little while. See, between my fingers here, this is the pencil of scion wood that I grafted in. Here is the wood that grew away from it in the first year, and this is the wood that's grown this year. So again, taking back from the end, this obviously is the 2011 wood, and it's grown from there to there. It's grown over a foot this season. This from here, you can see the growth scar where there's a difference in the wood. This is where the 2010 wood ends and the 2011 begins. So that's grown from 2010, that's grown from here. So this between my two hands here, this is the wood which grew last year. So this graft I did in March 2010. This is what grew last year, and you can see it's getting buds all over it. And next year, these will have apples on them if I let it. But I may decide to let it grow away for another year. I may well decide to remove all of the the fruit from it. So we've got a few other examples I could show you, but this is quite a good one really. And I've treated this tree in exactly the same way as I've treated those ones, that this is like a year ahead of them. And what this is looking like now, I'm hoping that those trees will look like a year from now.